Hey guys, my name is Matimeo, and today I want to do something that I haven't done in a very long time. When Battlefield 4 was first starting out, I did a video series called Mind Games. It was a live commentary where I would sit down, play the game, and then give my thoughts as to why I was doing certain things in different situations. It was a fun way for you guys to get a glimpse into my thought process as I was approaching different combat, and a lot of you enjoyed it because it was a good way for you to maybe improve your gameplay. The problem with Mind Games, though, is that it was ridiculously challenging. Being articulate and playing the game at the same time is no easy task. I'm sure some people out there have the willpower, they have the fortitude to make that work, but either I would have a really awesome gameplay, stumble with my commentary, have no idea what I was actually talking about, or I would have this awesome, masterful commentary going down, but missing all of my shots because I couldn't focus on what was going on around me. It was really hard to make a successful episode. And so what I wanted to do today was bring back Mind Games, but change it up a bit. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to have a bunch of clips that I have accumulated that I think would be fun to talk about, and then go over in detail what I was thinking while this thing was going on. I feel like I can be more in depth, I can do exactly what I was trying to attempt with the original Mind Games, but without all of the pitfalls. And so to start us off, we're going to be playing on Flood Zone. I'm going to be using the FAMAS with the suppressor, and right off the bat, I see a few enemies out in the distance. Now, I could have just started to shoot at them, and maybe I could have gotten a few kills here and there. The FAMAS, while it's not really meant for long-range combat, if you're accurate enough, you can still take people out at a distance, but I knew that there were plenty of enemies out there, and so I decided to do the smart thing and close the gap. I'm going to use the strengths of my weapon appropriately. As I get into the courtyard, I'm able to take out a few of the enemy that are trying to jump away from the stairwell, but instead of charging in there like a madman, being really greedy and trying to get as many kills as I possibly can before my teammates are able to secure the kill, I take things slowly. I already knew that there was a lot in the stairwell. I noticed that there was many on the mini-map, and also because I took out the few people that were in the courtyard, I was fairly confident that I wasn't spotted, and because I also noticed my teammates were all on the right-hand side, I was fairly comfortable that I wasn't going to be flanked. At the end, it proves fruitful. I'm able to take out multiple of the enemy. I noticed at the very end tail here that my teammates are starting to basically collapse on this spawn point, or where everyone was congregating, and so I basically just rush on up and clear everyone out. Overall, it was a very fun little run there, and it all came down to the fact that I was able to lean on the strengths of my weapon. I used those strengths appropriately, and I also had a basic grasp as to the environment around me. The next clip, we're moving on over into Dawnbreaker, and what I loved about this little situation is that I was playing as the engineer. Of course, I had my SRA available, but I was hunkered down by a bunch of these barriers. I noticed that a lot of the enemy were on top of the bridge, and since I'm also using a suppressed PDW, I knew that I was at a clear disadvantage. They're not too far away, but there was no way that I was going to be able to take out multiple enemies that have a clear height and head glitch advantage, and so I do the smart thing and hide behind the barriers as long as I possibly can. But instead of just being a completely worthless coward, I then decide to try to mix things up and shoot a SRA up into the air while I'm behind the barriers, reload the SRA, aim at where I think that they are, and then try to do some damage and suppress them with the SRA. If you're not aware, this is a nifty trick that you can do with this weapon. You can't fire the other SRA, but as long as you reload and then just aim at where you want it to go, that first rocket that you had fly through the air is gonna go where you aim it. Like, it will always go where you aim it, and so it loops on back down and acts as sort of a mortar. And while it didn't get a kill for me, it did exactly what I wanted to, which caused all of the enemies on top of the bridge to basically duck for cover. They had no idea what was going on. I did a little bit of damage, which allowed me to secure some nice assist points, but it let me get out from behind that barrier where normally I would have been stuck for multiple minutes, or I just would have ran out and gotten myself killed. A nifty little trick, doesn't happen very often. It's hard to get into a situation where this would even be useful, but if you see a few camping snipers on top of a rooftop or on a bridge like this, I recommend that you give it a try. I then progress on over into the C building area, and one thing that you'll notice is that when a helicopter flies on over, I usually whip out the SRA. I don't take the shot, and we'll explain why in a minute, but just kind of observe how quickly these helicopters are flying. I then notice two lovely individuals camping around the bridge, and this is where some detective work comes into play. I noticed that one of them is firing his weapon, and this gives me the idea that he's gonna have to reload soon, and so I prioritize him as the person that I can avoid, at least for a couple of seconds. I also noticed that the other guy is on the ground, prone. When someone's on the ground prone around a high traffic area, it usually means that they've been shot at. It usually means they're ducking for cover, they're trying to avoid taking any more damage, and so I have the seething suspicion that he is already vulnerable, that he's already taken some damage, and that he's going to be the easy target to take out. Alongside the fact that I'm assuming that the other guy is having to go through his reload, and it just turns out to be true, I'm able to take out the first guy quickly because of his low health, quickly switching over to the other one and take him out as well. I then move on over into more of the interior of the building, taking out a few more of the enemies with my teammates, but then we then get to the situation where I get a clear shot on the helicopter. The reason why I took this shot over all of the others is that if you go back, you'll notice that the helicopters earlier were flying at a terrible angle. They were usually flying perpendicular to me, which are really difficult to land, but they were also flying very quickly. I don't care what anyone says, I don't care what DICE says, the straw does have a lot of weaknesses. It's not, you can't just instantly take out every helicopter that's in the sky. Like, that's just not feasible, and you have to wait for that opportune moment to fire your rocket. And so I noticed this particular helicopter stalled. He was probably fighting another helicopter. He was way out in the open, and that's when I took the shot. I didn't waste my ammunition, I didn't waste my rockets earlier, and then when the opportunity arose, I was able to secure the kill and get that nice fireball. But yeah, guys, that is about it for today's first-ish episode of Mind Games. Let me know what you thought about it. Would you like me to continue on with this series? Is it a pile of crap and you would much rather me just go back to my normal regular content? Let me know down below. But until tomorrow, guys, have a good one and take it easy.